Good Monday evening, everybody, and welcome back to another video. And I forgot about my nun costume. Darn it. Well, this is going to be my dual review on The Nun and The Nun 2, which at first I really didn't plan on rewatching The Nun, but I kind of wanted to prepare for this one. So both of these movies have very differing opinions to me, and let's get into it. So, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, the Nun duology is a Conjuring spinoff. So, The Nun is based off of a demon named Valak, which is the defiler, profane, and marquis of snakes. So, this demon just takes the form of a nun, and it was introduced in The Conjuring 2, which I will definitely get into once I get to my top 50 horror movies, but that's another video. So, I guess Warner Brothers decided it would be a great idea to give The Nun a spinoff. And 2018, that happened. So, let's get into the first Nun. This was kind of a polarizing movie for a lot of horror fans, because a lot of people didn't really care for this one. And I was kind of like in the same camp. But this stars Taissa Farmiga, which is the younger sister of Vera Farmiga, which plays Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring series, which really threw people for a loop because the Nun movie actually takes place in 1952 and The Conjuring 2 takes place 20 or so years later. People thought that this was like a younger Lorraine Warren, but Taissa Farmiga is a completely different character. And her name is Sister Irene, and she is studying to become a nun. And she's called to like this abbey in Romania called Saint Carta. I believe that's right. And she enlists the help of like a farmhand who she mentions his name to be Frenchie, but later on his real name is Maurice. And then you have Damien Bakir, which is like the father that is helping her with this situation. Well, anyway, they're called to like investigate a hanging from a nun that happened in the beginning. And I do gotta say, there are some creepy aspects to this film, especially like the beginning of it. I think, in my opinion, that's probably like the most creepy part of the movie. But unfortunately, I think this movie is very, very bland. And this is only like my second time ever watching it. And I only watched it like a few days ago. Some of it I already forgot about. So, to me, it's one of the weaker entries in the Conjuring franchise. But, yeah. I do also like the design of the nun, because she is very, very creepy. I mean, I wouldn't want to be stuck with her. But the way they take out the nun is baffling to me, because they have like this ancient relic that like contains the blood of Jesus Christ, which, how in the world would you even have that? So basically they just throw the blood of Jesus Christ at the nun's face and she gets vanquished. Yeah. But I guess I ought to like tell you how the nun got loose. It was because of World War II and the bombings. The crack in the foundation unleashed this spirit. There we go. So yeah, nothing much to talk about this movie, but I think I enjoyed it upon rewatch more. It's nowhere near my favorite, but honestly, I would give the first Nun, I would give it like a C minus. I mean, some of it works. I do like the gothic ambiance and the creepy atmosphere, but it's just boring. So, those are my thoughts on the first Nun. And whoever thought that we needed a sequel. So let's talk about The Nun 2. And right off the bat, this movie is much, much better than the first one. I mean, it's got a more solid storyline, and it's got like a better setting. So, this takes place like 4 years later, I believe, 1956. And it takes place primarily at a boarding school in France. So Sister Irene is back to investigate what is happening at this boarding school. And she also has like a companion with her, Storm Reed. I'll insert her right here. She is an up-and-coming actress that starred in The Last of Us and Missing back in January. I really did enjoy her performance in here. I thought she was a pretty good sidekick. And you also had the return of Maurice in here, which has a bigger role. Well, essentially, when the nun ended, he actually got possessed by Valak. So now he's still possessed by Valak. And he's almost on the edge of death near the end of this movie. And that definitely raised the stakes for this character. And he did survive, I believe. See, I already forgot. But this movie also works as a slasher as well, because nobody is safe in this movie. There's actually a very creepy scene with like I guess the administrator or whatever of this school. She gets like locked in this room and she just gets like murdered pretty brutally. I think that is definitely the standout in this movie. But not to mention, you also have that magazine stand scene, which is primarily in the trailer, so I already knew about it. I saw that jump scare coming from a mile away. And this movie is pretty solid, but it's still middle of the road for me. This movie just drags in the first hour, but once you actually get to the boarding school, it really picks up. And it's definitely more rewatchable than the first one. And for that, I would definitely give The Nun 2 a B minus. Slightly better than the first one, but it's nothing to like salivate over for horror. And those are my thoughts on The Nun and The Nun 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I got 2 more videos to film for you really quick tonight. And then it's time to slumber. That's all I got for this video. Maybe next time I'll dress up as a nun. Who knows? Adios. Peace.